I'm going for Tiger Woods to miss the cut at the Masters.
No, no, you're not.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
No, you're not.
I'm sorry. I don't want people to get the wrong one.
Hi guys, and welcome to the GolfMagic chat show. This week we're going to do something slightly different. We're going to have a look at our early major predictions from both Andy and Jack. So let's see what they come up with. All right, so guys, this week we're going to do something slightly different. We want to know your major predictions for 2020. Andy, let's start with you.
Okay, prediction one from me is that Dustin Johnson is going to win his second career major at the US Open at Winged Foot from September 17 to 20. For me, I think it's one of golf's biggest mysteries that Dustin Johnson just has one career major. You know, you think of how many runner-up finishes he's had, how many close calls. I mean, just thinking Chambers Bay, 3-putting from 10 feet to hand it to Spieth. Was it the US PGA 2010? Two-stroke penalty down the last, grounded his club in a fairway bunker. Thought it was a waste bunker. Still can't believe he didn't ask anyone then. I still find that amazing. The Open Championship 2011, chased Darren Clark home down the back nine, couldn't get it done. But there's been many tournaments for DJ to get major wins. What has he had? It's 95 weeks at world number one. Incredible. 21 PGA Tour titles. And I think, you know, now at the age of 36, it's time for him to start winning more majors. There's no way DJ's going to end up with one career major come the end of his career. I don't believe that. I still think there's another gear for DJ. I think winning the Travellers a few weeks ago was a big win for him from confidence more than anything, and obviously extended his run. What was it now? Winning at least once every season since he turned professional on the PGA Tour. Just incredible statistic. And I think that will continue for certainly until he gets to 40. As I say, I think there's another gear for DJ. I think we're going to see that. I think Winged Foot gives him the best opportunity. He's typically played well at a US Open down the years, lots of top fives. I like the fact he ranks high up in strokes gained off the tee. You're going to need to hit it long, but you're going to need to keep it in the fairway. Dense rough at Winged Foot. The greens are going to be rapid as well. And I like the way he putted the Travellers. I don't know about you, Jack, but I think to have a putter that he's now happy with, seemingly the TaylorMade Trust putter. He's chopped and changed with putters all through his career. You know, as we said a few weeks ago, he turns up at events with 6 putters in the bag and has a little mini match with them. Tuesday, Wednesday, he's not quite sure which one's going to go in the bag on Thursday. I don't think there's too many putting instructors out there that would recommend that sort of play.
No.
So I want to see him stick to this Trust putter, even if he has a bad week with it. Stick with it to the rest of the year, and I think he'll be rewarded with a big win.
I think you're right. It's with the putter, it's been a big concern for him, isn't it? And that sort of has what has held him back. Although you mentioned those mistakes he's made in previous majors, his putt hasn't been solid enough to go on and win multiple majors. Even though he's won all these PGA Tour events, you know, you've got to putt well to win a major. Everyone knows that. So now he's finally found one that seems to be working for him. Like I said, at the Travellers, he made a few mistakes, but none on the putting green. His mistakes were coming on his long game, and I think if he can tie them together, he could definitely be a real threat. I think, like I said, it's just amazing that he hasn't won more than one. I mean, he didn't get the credit he deserves. So you look at someone like Brooks Koepka, who arrived on the scene, won 4 majors, and he was the talk of the town. You know, suddenly he was the next best thing. You know. Give credit to DJ. He has dominated golf since his arrival. You know, is it tied most PGA Tour wins since 2008 with Tiger Woods or something like that. So I mean, it's absolutely incredible numbers, and he deserves another major. And I think you're right. I think the US Open could be the perfect place for him to get another one.
And I think, you know, it's the news that really you broke that at the end of last year that he'd got back with Claude Harmon. I think that's a huge move for him, because I think when they had that split, his game dipped badly. Okay, you could tie that in with the knee injury as well. It's interesting hearing him speak this week that he says the knee is at 90%, so it's still not 100%. That to me would give a little bit of concern, but I guess we've got a few more months till we get to the US Open. Hopefully the knee will be 100%. I only feel that way because, you know, if his ball's in the rough, deep rough, and he's got to plant his foot in there, and he's thinking in the back of his mind, crikey, you know, I don't want to jar my knee again and all that. So he needs to have that knee at 100%, I think, to make sure he wins a major. But I think, fit and healthy DJ, back with Claude Harmon, putting well. Watch out for Dustin Johnson, and I think US Open is the one for him this year.
I like it. Okay, I'll move on to me. My first prediction for the majors, slightly different one. It's not going to be a winning prediction. It's going to go for Collin Morikawa to finish in the top 10 in all 3 majors this season. Obviously, we've got the Open Championship, that's obviously been delayed. We've got the PGA Championship at Harding Park. We've got the US Open at Winged Foot. And obviously, the Masters at Augusta. I just think these are 3 courses that are really, really going to suit his game. I think when you're that strong an iron player, you're going to be up there. Can I see him winning it? I can't. I think the odds have got him about 40-1 in most of the majors this year. I think he might be 22-1 for the US Opens. I think they fancy Winged Foot to suit his game. I just seen the way he's come back recently. He's such a good player. Getting that win as well, it's boosted his confidence. He's only played 1 major championship in his career at the moment, and that was the US Open last year. And he finished tied 35th. I mean, that was when not many people knew. Obviously, we knew who Collin Morikawa was, but he wasn't quite at the level he is now. I think tied 35th is still a fantastic performance. So I think he can really build on that, and won't surprise me at all to see him come in the top 10 in all 3 this year.
So you don't think he's got a major in him this year?
I don't think so. No, I think there's still a few parts of his game that he's got to improve. I think, like we said, the putting wise, I'm not sure his putting's quite strong enough. Gets a bit yippy at times. We saw it in that playoff against Berger. We saw it when he had to make that putt against Thomas. And I think when you've got the pressure of a major on, you're going to feel it even more. So I think if he's floating around 9th or 10th, he's not going to feel that pressure as much, and he's just going to play out of his skin. I don't think maybe next year possibly we can start looking at majors for him, because he'll probably definitely be part of the Ryder Cup next year as well. So I'm thinking that he'll have to wait for the major win, but it won't surprise me to get top 10 in all 3 this year.
I think you're right. I think major win is probably a couple of years away. I think we both do that he's going to become world number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe within the next 3 to 4 years. I think that's fair. Was he just outside the top 10 now, world number 13? But I wouldn't be surprised if he wins a major. Certainly within the next 12 months. I think he's a gutsy player. I think to win twice in his first 24 starts says a lot about this kid. I think a lot of players would have been disheartened seeing Justin Thomas drain a 50-footer first playoff hole, thinking, crikey, thought I had this, and then steps up, buries the 25-footer, and goes on to beat someone of JT's caliber. I think is huge, and I think that'll do a lot for his confidence as well. Definitely. So, Morikawa, future star. There's going to be many majors.
Do you think he'd take it? Do you think if you offered him 3 top 10s in these majors coming up, do you think he'd take that, or do you think he'd rather go for the win and not care where it comes?
I think he'd love a win, but I think, top 10s in all of them, I think as a stepping stone for him to take into next year and future years would be, he'd bite your hand off for that. I think top 10s, really.
Awesome. All right, Andy, prediction number 2.
So my second prediction, and it's going to be a big, bold statement, but Bryson DeChambeau will be slipping on the biggest green jacket we've ever seen. It's going to be a triple XL green jacket, and he's going to be sipping on a protein shake in the butler cabin while he's slipping it on. I can just see it happening. I think he's going to break the all-time scoring record at the Masters in the process. It's currently 18 under, set by Tiger Woods in 97, Jordan Spieth in 2015. I can just see it happening. And I think the win is going to take him to world number 1 for the first time in his career. So it's going to be his first major. He's going to go to world number 1 for the first time, and he's going to smash records to pieces. How do you like that, Jack?
Yeah, I mean, he could really rip up Augusta. I mean, we've mentioned that his wedge game needs to slightly improve. But, I mean, we put this out on social media, and it caused a pretty big debate. Some people said that it's not going to help him there. Of course it's going to help him there. It helps you anywhere. And he's getting more and more accurate as the weeks go by as well. And Augusta it's not the narrowest of fairways. He's going to have a bit of room out there as well. So if he's leaving himself 100 yards in every single hole and less, then definitely you're right. He could really break that scoring record, and it would be one pretty
great. He's hitting it just phenomenal distances. Well, I mean, he's averaging 323 yards off the tee. If he wants to hit it 350, 360, 370, he's got it in him. We've seen it. He's getting just shy of 400 yards. And a lot of people say you need to work the ball both ways to win at Augusta, particularly a draw on many holes. Bryson can hit a draw, he can hit a fade. He's not going to be overruled by that. His record here isn't anything to really write home about. He was low amateur in 2016. He's had a top 40, a top 30 here. He's only played it 3 times, and let's be honest, he's a completely different beast to Bryson that's turned up at Augusta the last 3 times. I'm very confident he's gonna, as it stands, there's a few more months to go. His form might dip. All the big names go through periods of golf where they're playing unbelievable. Can he sustain it for the next 3-4 months? I think he can. I think I don't think he's going to play every week. I don't think he's going to be burning out. I'd love to see Rory win the career Grand Slam at the Masters. Surely that's going to happen at some point. But for me, Bryson, I think he's 12-1 at the minute. I think that could look a huge price come November.
I think the time on his side helps him as well, actually. Like you said, his form could dip. But I think in terms of long game, that doesn't tend to dip. When you've got that sort of thing in the bag, he'll keep that going. It's more other things that tend to dip. Whereas he will actually be working on those things. I think, like we said, with the short game, the putting, we've seen his putting really improve over the last few months. That was something that was holding him back. He's worked on it, and now he's putting very well. So now it's his wedge game. I think he'll look at that and say, right, I'm getting in all these positions, but I'm not quite taking advantage of it. So even though he's of course taking advantage of it, but he could take even more advantage of it and get even closer and leave himself a few tap-ins. But I think he's going to use these months he's got. It's in November now, so he's got many months to go until he can work on it, and he's going to keep chipping away, and his chipping will eventually get better, and that'll be the one that wins it for him.
You just think at Augusta as well, the par 4s, he's going to be going in there with 9 iron and pitching wedge. So as you say, he needs to really dial in those yardages, get them spot on. The 4 par 5s there, he's going to absolutely eat up. Rip the drive.
He's a smart guy as well. He'll know when to use the power and when not to. Like he won't do it too much. People are saying, "Oh, it's not going to help him." Well, he will know which hole is going to help him and which holes where he needs to be a bit smarter about it. So,
yeah.
All right. So that was a bold prediction from Andy there.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to follow it up?
Well, you think that was bold. I'm going to stick with the Masters. Probably going to get another onslaught of social media hate for this one, but I'm going for Tiger Woods to miss the cut at the Masters.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
No, you're not.
I'm sorry. I don't want people to get the wrong. I don't want people to get the wrong end of the stick. I love Tiger, and I know Tiger loves Augusta, and he hasn't missed a cut there since 1996 when I was 1 year old. But I'm telling you, I've got a feeling this is the year. This is the year Tiger misses the cut again. I just feel like, don't get me wrong, of course he won last year, but he wasn't meant to win last year. Let's all admit that. We know he wasn't. I think there's 2 big factors this year. The first, and you're going to think this is silly, but it's true. With the Masters moving to November, the average temperature in Georgia at that time of the year is about 15 degrees, right? Celsius, that is. His back could really struggle. I'm telling you, like the weather makes a huge difference to his back. When it's cold, he does not swing how he wants to swing. When it's warm, his muscles are relaxed. That's when you see the best Tiger Woods. When it starts getting a bit colder later in the year, you do not see the best out of Tiger Woods because he can't do it. He can't warm up properly. It takes him a lot longer to warm up. If it's a little bit cold, he's going to be feeling a little bit stiff, and I'm telling you, that can really, really hold him back. It could injure him. He could miss the cut in terms of I can't continue. My back hurts too much. That's the situation he could be in. Another point I'm going to make is obviously there's highly likely there's going to be no crowds at Augusta in November. And he fed off the crowd so much last year. I mean, if there's one person who feeds off a crowd, it's Tiger Woods, isn't it? The roars when he makes a putt, the fist pumps that we all love to see. He feeds off that energy. When he makes a putt, take the lead with 3 holes to go, and the whole crowd erupts. He uses that. He uses that better than anyone. If he's chasing a lead, he's not going to have the crowd to pump him up. I just feel like he's going to struggle this year.
I think you're right. I mean, I don't think he's going to contend. I don't think he's going to win the Masters. I personally don't think he's going to win another major. Really, I honestly think you're right in that regard. I just think he loves Augusta so much that he can find a way to play around here. I didn't think he'd win the Masters last year.
Cool. No one did it for him. Although I did predict it in the predictions tip last year, but it was a bit of a lucky guess, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Fair play. I think he'll make the cut. It's going to be interesting to see how he plays, isn't it? I want to see him play over the next couple of months really before make a complete decision on Tiger at the Masters. I think if he's in any form, or just even shooting around level par or 1 under, going into the Masters. I think he's gonna be making the cut. Loves it there. It's one of his favourite.
Of course, it's a bold statement. It's a bold.
It's very bold, but I like it. I
just think there's a few things in his way this year. I mean, he's getting on now. He's not playing barely any events. He's saving himself for majors. You know, his back is a problem. He's obviously playing a few this week. He'll play in the PGA Championship to run up to that. Probably go and prove me wrong and win the PGA Championship now. But I just think there's a few factors holding him back. I don't think he can play enough golf to really get the flow of Augusta going. Like I said, there's some big hitters these days that are going to go into Augusta with so much confidence.
Yeah,
Rory's going to be one of winning it. DeChambeau the same, Koepka the same, DJ the same. And I just think it's going to be a little too much this year for him.
Do you think he'll win a major again? Another major?
No, I don't. No,
I agree with you.
I think that his last major will go down as the best way to win your last major ever.
Yeah,
because
I agree.
That was just phenomenal. You know, it looked like he'd never win one again. The story of the injuries, and then came the Tour Championship when he won that, had that huge crowd following. That was incredible to see. And then to top it off at the Masters was just phenomenal. But no, I don't think he's got another one in him. I think there's too many good players out there now, and I think he's a bit too brittle at the moment now.
No, I agree, mate. Yeah.
Cool. So that's our predictions. What are yours? Make sure you leave them in the comments below. And also let us know which one you agree with out of Jack and Andy's predictions. Definitely not Jack's with Tiger. But let's see. You might prove me wrong.
I will prove you wrong.
Catch up with you next week. Cheers.